Welcome to part 10 of the Pathfinder Phase 1 Training Challenge. Today, I'm going to go over spruce pitch, or pine resin from the pine tree. I don't have any pine in this area, but I do have spruce resin. So that's what I'm going to collect with you today. And this here is all covered with pine or spruce resin. The tree has been damaged for one reason or another, and so the sap is drawn out and pushed out to that area to protect the tree. It acts basically as a bandage, but it has many uses. I've got this clamshell, huge clamshell, and I'm going to collect some of this resin. So what I'm going to do is just pop it off. It just pops off. It's hard and crumbly right now, and I'll put that inside here. Now you gotta be, it's gonna be kind of difficult. You gotta be careful too, you're not gonna cut yourself. And since I have 3 feet of snow, I'm sure I'm going to lose some. So I'm going to collect some of this. And just put your knife in underneath it and pry up. And collect it. I'll collect some. I'll be back. I've collected some here, and I'm going to go start a fire. Show you how to melt this down. Got the pitch in my shell right there. I want to make a bed of coals, and then once it burns down to just a bed of coals, then I'll put the shell on. Talk a little bit about the spruce pitch. This is highly flammable, so that's why I don't want to put it down into these flames. I also made a set of tongs that I can grab this, put it on, and take off. If you want to see how I made these tongs, it's pretty simple, but I also have a video in this series making utensils that shows you this. But you just split a piece down the center, put a stick down, wedge it out. You can put some cordage in behind to hold it, but you just go up above where your split is, and there's your tongs. I'm going to set this right here, and not really much flames right there. This is what I'm going to have to worry about right there. Is it tipping over? So I'm going to spin that right around like that, and see if we can get that heated up and start melting. Starting to melt down now, and starting to bubble a little bit. They say don't let it boil because it can make it too brittle, although I've done it a way that it does boil and it's been fine. So It's up to you, whatever works for you. Move this up a little bit. Well, I guess that's fine right where it was. Get this all melt down. Because it's going to bubble a little bit while it all melts anyhow. Now, I did bring out some other ingredients to put in it. What I'm making is I'm melting it down to make pine or spruce pitch glue. I have a video on this I made a while back. And what you want to add is charcoal. Some people just put charcoal in it. And the ratio is usually half as much charcoal as you do pitch, or 1-to-1. But also, they used to add fibrous material. This is deer droppings, and I've ground up. And it works really well. But you can use rabbit. You can take grass, grind it up, use the fine dust-like material of grass, and put that in it as well. But right now, we're just going to heat this up and let it all melt down. And hopefully we don't spill it. Then we'll add this here. And what that does to it is, right now it's brittle. You add the charcoal and it makes it so it's not as brittle and it's more workable. And so it don't just crack on you. You add the fibers to add a little bit of strength to it. Okay, it's melted down now, pretty much. I'm going to start adding the charcoal. Got some chunk stuff in here too. I don't really want that, so let's see what I can do here. Should be a fine powder. Try to get this chunky stuff out. We'll stir that in. Like I said, use kind of a half charcoal to, 1 and 1. And then you use half of the animal fiber or plant fiber with it. I would take this off the heat right now, but it's so cold out here, it would just cool off too quick. Got to make sure that I don't spill it over the side, because then the whole thing could ignite. Okay, it's burning in underneath there. I'm going to have to move that a little bit. That should be good anyhow. Going to try to tip over on me. Put it over here. There we go. Now they call this the hot glue of the bush. You're going to spin that around to get it coated. And usually you dip this in water, but I have none. I'm just going to roll it around in the snow to cool it off. And then, once it's cooled off, I can shape it. And then dip it back in. Get more on it. Cool it off. And shape it. Get more on it. We'll cool it off. And then shape it. Here's a spruce pitch resin stick. Now, I'm going to show you what these are for. I'm going to let this cool in here because next time all I have to do is set this in and heat it up, and I can use it right from there. So I'm just going to let this harden right inside the shell. So I've got a little bit of the resin left, the glue, in that clam shell. Here's my glue stick. Now whenever I want to use that, all I've got to do is heat it up and it will soften, and I'm able to use it again. But you can hear how hard it gets. This here is a dacite knife that I knapped. And I made spruce pitch glue and glued this blade into this wooden handle. You can see here the spruce pitch. This lasted me a long time. I actually gutted a trout with this blade. It's wrapped with real deer sinew as well. And the handle was just oiled, so it's authentic. Wasn't made by a caveman or a native, but it was made in the same way. So this spruce pitch has lots of uses. You can take and seal seams on birch bark canoes. You can seal your boots if they get a leak in them. You can put some over it. They use this to seal a lot of items. Plus, you can use it as glue to glue two pieces of birch bark together and such. It's got a lot of uses. I would recommend you research on pine pitch glue, or pine resin, or spruce pitch. Thanks. And that's going to conclude part 10 of the Pathfinder Phase 1 challenge. I'm not sure where we're going to go from here. Part 11 we haven't decided on, and I'm not sure how many more of these we're going to do. I think that is according to the viewers, as in how many more we're going to do. We may do a couple more, we're not sure. It's according to how much interest we get. Have a good one. See you on YouTube. Bye for now.